Yeah, I mean, we can definitely see that bump in the storm starting to come in. It's looking like we're going to have wind, but backed off a little bit to the morning, so we really can just kind of pick the eyes out of it.
Some action to these two. Looks like something of a sense of interest with a seaward paddle. Looks like L.Thompson on the inside. And he'll go here. South African Thompson. First turn. And he'll hit it again. So those crumbly sections. He gives them a crack. And now he's got a nice looking bit of wave to deal with here. Good speed between these maneuvers. That was really nicely done. Being creative. Showing variety.
Pretty special about this wave here for L.Thompson. Great start, straight up into the lip. Bit of a foam climb here. Takes his time to wait for this one to bowl up through this inside. Got a great read on this one. Big turn in the pocket. This turn there, wow. How's he lays into it and then just keeps driving the tail around. That was pretty crazy. And then with the finishing turn there from Lukey. So two very different approaches, but this big turn in this middle part of the wave, there's some serious points here. Just bides his time, gets over this lump, and then this section here goes into it, snaps into this, and lays into that. Isn't done. He keeps pushing that back foot, brings that tail all the way back around with the completion. This feels like it's going to be a big number. This is one way to start a heat from L.Thompson. Just really classy, clean surfing. The judges going to love this combination of really big moves. Look at this. There's that drive round from the tail I was talking about. Has that rail completely facing the beach. Gets those fins in. Brings the nose back around and just capitalizes on every single section with power from L.Thompson. Confidence builds every single time he's in the rash. It feels like...
Another good looking wave right here for Kato. These ones that double up can offer you a ton of speed and energy. Now look for the lip here. Bang. Wow, that was so impressive. If he can stick with that. What a great opening exchange already. Beautiful wave for Shohei. Wow, again. Releasing the fins. A brilliant exchange. It's great to see both surfers getting something significant right from the get-go. Let's go.
Wow, Shohei, what a showdown for these first two waves here. Not as critical as a start with that turn, but wow, does he not wind up through this inside bit. Great looking bowl. Sick floater, tabletop floater over that really harsh lip line here, and then really starts to just build his confidence down through this inside section. Again, another sick tabletop floater there for Shohei Kato. This is such a great opening exchange because Shohei felt like he was a little bit nervous at the start here, but just clicked into gear through this midsection, found so much more room to work with down the line. Loved that hook in the pocket, but these two, I call it tabletop floaters. These two tabletop floaters were sick. The hang time he had up at the lip there, all those spins completely out the back, airdropping from the top of the wave there, holding on. The judge is really going to love that critical part of the wave here and how he placed his board. It's not easy to ride out of those, keeping that drive moving forward on this front foot here. You can see, again, fins out the back for the finish.
And he might be tempted a little deep here just to get something going. He probably would make a decision after looking at the back, seeing what else is behind. And he'll just check that by having a look. And he'll think, you know what? I'll open up here. Releases the tail, and then look how drivey and low he gets, and all seemed to be going so well before it suddenly went so wrong.
He looks out behind, makes sure there's no sets coming towards him. Who knows, it could matter, you know, this wave. It could really come into it, but great looking carve. I mean, staying up in that top third of the wave, pushing hard off that tail, really making the judges feel something on that carve here. Starts to widen his stance, but just couldn't get the pop.
He's keen here to paddle himself into position. Kato will just make sure, keep him honest with the paddle. And it is L.Thompson in action now, the South African, already with an 8.5 on the board. Down the line with speed. He'll clip and try and come around, playing a little bit of catch-up. Gives it a nice hit, but doesn't hit it hard, and that's much better as he gets loads of release to finish.
He's building every single time he's on his feet. There was not more really than 4 points on this wave when he paddled in. It was a bit slower. Didn't really hit a steep section until there. Like you mentioned, he was chasing But look at how he surfed this wave up through this turn just here. Massive end section finner there. Just got such a nice release when he came up to this end section. Here's the check turn, came back around. This is where we start to see him really find this bit of open face for Luke. Speed projection down the line starts to build up for what is the money point of this wave. Best looking section of the wave, gets up there, gets that tail whipping around all the way through and didn't even have any doubts that he wasn't going to make that turn for Luke. So it feels like he can push harder.
Put himself right in the slot. Here goes Kato. What's he got for us here? Loading up the speeds. And he'll go over the white water and he'll just tighten up those pumps again. Push in, but he needs a steep section. So far, this is set up stuff, but none of it doing real damage on the scoreboard. We're going to redirect. It's nice and technical, but once again, it's surfing on the face rather than hitting the lip. He'll get a lot more of the lip there. He would have hoped for something that just drained and doubled up a bit more.
Find that open water here, but I don't think it's going to challenge the 725. Bigger looking wave here, so waited a while for this set. Doesn't really connect with this first section here. That's a nice floater down the line here for Shohei, and then starts to slow up here. Has to put it on rail. That's nice. Tight turn in the pocket with a release here from Shohei. But this wave really not giving him much until here. Great looking snap in the pocket. Had that tail up and out. He's really got that light-footed approach to him. He's got really cat-like approach as well. He's got a great air game. I'd love to see him rely on it in this back half of the heat. But yeah, I just felt like this wave may be lacking one or two more really high-quality turns like we saw of that last one here for Shohei. Great looking finishing turn, but yeah, it just lacked a bit of X factor out the back. You can see he has kind of forced to go to his rail. There really wasn't much to work with through this mid part of the wave. And then the biggest point, best part of this wave is when he came through this inside section. He kind of gave us a little bit of variety to work with, something big going on out the back. You're probably going to be living in that 5-point range.
Thompson will use priority and have a look around as well. Wave's a bit sectiony. He's fading it a long way in. Generally not a good sign.
But we know that people can make or break their careers right here at Portugal. Thinking back to Joel last year, was nowhere near qualifying. Was down in the late 20s.
Thompson up on a small wave from deep. It's real soft. We'll keep stabbing away at it to try and get a connection, do some kind of maneuvers. It looks desperate outside though for Kato. Not sure there's anything out there for him. Thompson will work this thing over on the inside, gives it a fang, and there's another. We'll have a look out the back and just confirm the fact that Kato is still prone on his surfboard, hasn't ridden a wave. It's a debrief for QJ. Back on the beach, South Africans, they love this. What a year for L.Thompson.